What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and like many of you good folks who supported the Snydercut, the release of Snydercut, I am basking in the glory that is the Snydercut, of course, and currently working on my review and my thoughts on the film, which I have now seen consecutively 3 times over the weekend. Yes, I watched this 4-hour and 2-minute epic 3 whopping times, and I'm still going to go back for more. So overall, as you might have suspected, I really enjoyed this cut. Makes some vast improvements and feels so much more comfortable inside of the consistency and continuity, rather, with the previous 2 entries being Batman v Superman and before that Man of Steel. But the reason today that I'm making this video is because of all the rumblings about and grumblings about after the release of Snydercut has been successful. The attempt to restore the Snydercut hashtag is trying to take off as well. But the thing is that WB has sincerely apparently commented that they have no intentions of moving forward with the Snyderverse. And to that I say, I'm not really surprised. And here are just a few things that I have to mention. First of all, when I look at the Snyderverse, I look at the Snyderverse as being the cast members of which, fit inside of Zack Snyder's little world. So technically, for me personally, I feel like the Snyderverse isn't totally dead. You still have an Ezra Miller coming back as Flash. You still had Jason Momoa as Aquaman. You still had Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. And then, of course, Batfleck was in a couple different films, including Suicide Squad, which then turned into Birds of Prey and all this other bullshit, which is, going to turn into Suicide Squad and all that other stuff. Whatever. So, in that respect, I don't really feel that the Snyderverse is necessarily dead. But they're, again, drawing away from Zack Snyder's dark tone, which so many people complained about. Although I ate it up, I really enjoyed it. And it was such a refreshing thing because it wasn't trying to be Marvel. Up until the Justice League. But here's the thing. The Snyder Cut was never supposed to be released. We were not going to see that movie. Or we might have seen it like 20, 30 years down the line, like a Richard Donner cut or a Highlander 2 cut or some shit like that maybe. But we were never going to see the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. Even with all the petitions and all the online things like that, I'm convinced that if it wasn't for the pandemic, the release of HBO Max, and just the simple fact that WB were massive dicks to this guy, and having watched the new cut and all the footage that they already had versus what they'd made and churned out, which was literally nonsensically refilming and shooting things for the littlest, stupidest jokes and to deflate the emotional weight of the original story and film. Because the plot is literally the same goddamn story. It's the same story, which I'll get more into when I do my review and my thoughts. But anyway, we were not supposed to get the Snyder Cut. And the main thing is that they gave it to us because it was a 95%, well, not 95%, I would say a 65% completed vision or film. They weren't going to be able to work on new material. And then they said, hey, let's just spend such and such dollars on fixing it up, finishing it, and having Zack Snyder do it. Not to mention the fact that I heard that Zack decided not to take any pay for this. He just wanted creative control, which, honestly, should have been granted to him anyway. Again, if you see my past videos, you know I'm on the side of creators, and that studios, obviously they need to make money, but they should pull back the reins as far as interference. Because then they end up shooting themselves in the foot, and you have a case like this. And Justice League lost so much money that I do not think that they are going to be dedicating anything new specifically to go out of their way to add to Zack Snyder's tone, his continuity, or anything that's supposed to be nestled in specifically in that respect. Unless 3 things happen, we're not going to see any more things with Zack Snyder's name attached to it, in my opinion. 1, they've got to recoup and make the money that they lost from having released Justice League initially. The Justice League, all the reshoots, all the, shit going on behind the scenes that cost them millions, if not billions of dollars, they've got to make that up. And whether that's from the HBO Max subscriptions, whether that's from the eventual Blu-ray, 4K DVD releases, whether that's from the apparel, if they have any, or whether that's from the figures and stuff that are coming out currently for the Snyder Cut, they've got to make their money back and then some before they start thinking, hey, this is great. Because it's all fine and dandy to get the Release the Snyder Cut movement going on, and you get thousands upon thousands of people that wanted to get the original vision out there. But if it's not making money, they're not going to go for it. Number 2, the actors have to want to come back. And I'm sorry, but with everything kind of going on, I don't think that some of these actors are coming back. It's already been all but confirmed several times, despite false hopes, that Henry Cavill is done as Superman. I mean, if he wasn't, they wouldn't be hiring J.J. Abrams and the other guy writing to do a whole brand new Superman, which rumors and everything is that it's going to be the Elseworlds African-American Superman. So Henry has been wasted, shafted, whatever you want to call it. Batfleck, he's not Batman anymore. He came back for some reshoots for this, but he's not Batman anymore. They're moving forward with Pattinson, aka Robert Pattinson's Batman, the Batman, and they don't want to give the time of day for Batfleck. Although, I honestly think that they can do this comfortably with him at least, because he's sober, he's still an A-lister, he's still a badass writer, director, and actor, and he would pull off some major awesome shit. Ray Fisher, he's not coming back. He's still caught up in all the craziness that's going on, and I'm not here to give any opinions. I don't want to give any opinions. I'm just saying there's craziness that has ensued after this, and Ray Fisher, I don't see coming back anytime soon as Cyborg just because of all the stuff that's been going back and forth. Whatever opinions you have, I'm not here to put any opinions on you, but Ray Fisher is not going to be coming back as Cyborg. And unfortunately, he was a big chunk of this film, and he should be in the other subsequent Snyderverse films, but he won't be. That's just facts for right now. And number 3, in my opinion, and this is the biggest one right here, if those two other things occur by some miracle, and Zack Snyder himself actually feels up to coming back and contributing more for Warner Brothers, that's the big key factor here. Not to mention that you got to get those first two hurdles. You've got to actually have Zack Snyder motivated and wanting to come back after having given his heart and soul to this damn studio. Not just for Justice League or Batman v Superman or Man of Steel, but like Watchmen, 300, and whatever other things that he did for the studio. And they do him like this? Because of the whiny ass bitchy internet folk? I don't think I'd be able to roll with the studio if they didn't have my back creatively. And with all that being said, I don't think that we're going to get any more Zack Snyder superhero films for Warner Brothers. And honestly, I don't know that we would get any after this in period, like in Disney, Marvel, or even anything else, because this would have left a sour taste in my mouth, personally, if I was Zack. So guys, those are my thoughts on this. If it doesn't make enough money back, or the money back, if the actors don't return, if Zack doesn't even want to return, then you can kiss the Snyderverse stuff bye-bye. Maybe if they decide to buck up and actually give Ben Affleck his chance to do his solo Batman film and everything again, maybe slight chance, but it's gone. It's already gone. It's gone bye-bye, and even though I would love to do the release or restore the Snyderverse, I just don't see it happening. I'm a pessimistic view. Call me what you will, but, then again, if anything can be shown from this whole situation of Release the Snyder Cut, miracles can happen, fans can get some wins, but I really feel like this is where the train stops, and I think that this is the end of the line for the Snyderverse, especially based on what Warner Brothers and all of them have been saying, personally. But anyway, guys, what do you think about this whole restore the Snyderverse? Do you think that there's a snowball's chance in hell, or are you like me thinking that it's not going to happen just because of those three main factors I mentioned before, or even other factors that I didn't mention? Sound off below in the comments. Guys, if you dug this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you are subbed, make sure you hit that bell button. That way you never miss a moment of my content. But until next time, guys, as always, I'm Jay. So take care, and bye.